Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, afternoon, evening, wherever you're hearing from. I don't know the time zone you're connecting with us from. We're talking about emotional intelligence, which is a necessary tool in wealth creation. It's a necessary tool in wealth creation. All right. Now, I'm just going to define something for every one of us. A lot of us are aware about this. All right. Aware about emotions. Actually, I want to tell you that emotions actually drive human behavior. All right. The driving force behind human behavior is what? Is emotions. The driving force behind every human behavior is the emotions. And I tell you that emotions has been hardwired into our brain. We all live with it. All right. The reason is because it has been hardwired into our brain, allowing us to react immediately and irrationally. That I want you to underline that word. Emotions have been hardwired into our brain, and it allows us to react immediately and irrationally when the raw feeling is received by the brain as a survival mechanism. All right. So whenever we receive an impulse, all right, our brain tends to send a signal that arouses that emotions in our body. And we can tend to react immediately, irrationally, if we did not allow the brain to process the impulse force behind human behavior is what? Is emotions. The driving force behind every human behavior is the emotions. And I tell you that emotions has been hardwired into our brain. We all live with it. All right. The reason is because it has been hardwired into our brain, allowing us to react immediately and irrationally. That I want you to underline that word. Emotions have been hardwired into our brain, and it allows us to react immediately and irrationally when the raw feeling is received by the brain as a survival mechanism. All right. So whenever we receive an impulse, all right, our brain tends to send a signal that arouses that emotions in our body. And we can tend to react immediately, irrationally, if we did not allow the brain to process the impulse received. If we do not allow our brain to process the information, the impulse received, we tend to react irrational. So I put it this way, that once the feeling has been processed by the brain, the emotion may be subject to rational behavior. So the reason majority of us will react when we receive an impulse is because we don't process the information, we don't process the impulse or the force that comes against us. We don't process it. So when the impulse, when the information hits us, we tend to react immediately. And most of the time, our reaction is irrational. Every one of us, we are subject to this. There's nobody that is obscure to this, because most of us, we tend to react before processing anything. That is one thing that is common to every one of us. We tend to react before we process information. All right. And I want you to let you know that emotion arises from chemical release by the brain. Emotions in our body arises from chemical release by the brain. And this can be dopamine or, oxytocin or serotonin. I guess some medical people should be here, all right? And this dopamine or oxytocin are called positive, they're called positive emotions. They are called positive emotions. All right. And this dopamine, oxytocin, they are those emotions that leads to pleasure, love, and stuff like that. But we have another form, which is the one that produces negative emotions. And the one that produces negative emotions is what we call adrenaline, not dopamine now. It's now adrenaline and cortisol. All right. Adrenaline and cortisol produce negative emotion that brings about anger, fear. All right. Bring about sadness, bring about all these things. And I want to let you know this. There are 7 different categories of negative emotions. And if you allow it to hibernate within your body, and you allow it to process within your body, it can degenerate into something very, very harmful for you. All right? There are 7 different categories. I wanted to send it to our chat on the call, but I don't know how to do that. It's keep taking me to browser. So, but I'm just going to share the picture I want to share with you. Maybe I'll just drop it in the group. It's a picture that shows the 7 different categories of negative emotions that we attacks us when we allow that negative emotion to linger within our system. We will allow our adrenaline and our cortisol to control us. There are 7 different feelings that we have. 7 different feelings. The number 1 feeling is the happy feeling. The happy feeling. When we have this release of chemicals within our body system, these 7 different feelings come about. The number 1 feeling is what? Happy feeling. And when you have this happy feeling, you become playful. You play. You're happy. You can play. And when you can play, you are aroused. You become very cheeky. Okay? You are aroused and you become very cheeky. The second thing you get when you are happy is that you are content. And when you are content, ladies and gentlemen, you are free and joyful. You are free and joyful. The third point, when you are happy, happiness produces this, is that you become interested in some things that makes you inquisitive and curious because you're already happy. Okay, I want to know about this. I want to know about this. That's what it does to you. You become interested in some things. Then the happy mode also makes you proud. It makes you proud. It makes you feel successful. It makes you feel confident of yourself. That is the happy mode. When you are in the happy mode, it makes you what? Proud. When you're proud, you feel successful and confident. Another point about what the happy mode triggers is that it makes you feel accepted. Accepted. When you become accepted, you have the feeling of being valued. That, oh, I'm being valued in this place. All right? And also, the happy mode makes you feel powerful. And when you become powerful, you are courageous and creative. How are we together? The happy mode makes you feel powerful. And when you're powerful, you are courageous and creative. All right? Also, the happy mode makes you peaceful. You see, these are the things that the chemicals within your body triggers when you receive an impulse. Is that the adrenaline release chemical or the dopamine release chemicals? And we're not talking about the happy mode. The happy mode. And I said, when you are happy, you have a feeling of trusting. And that trusting produces sensitive and intimacy within people. And finally, is that when you are happy, you are optimistic. When you are happy, you are optimistic. And when you are optimistic, you are inspired, ladies and gentlemen. An optimistic person is someone that can be easily inspired. The happy mode. The happy mode. I'm just going to talk about the good ones first before we go to the other bad ones, because the emotions have different categories. So out of the 7, we've talked about the happy mode. Now let's look at the second level, or the second stage where your emotions take hold of you, is the surprise stage. When you receive an information, when you receive an impulse, you are surprised, you are taken aback. All right. So when you are surprised, you look excited. Oh, this is exciting. Surprise mode. You become excited. You are energetic and eager. You are eager to know. All right. When you are surprised, you are amazed. You are in awe and you are astonished. When you are surprised, sometimes you can be confused. Do you understand? Because when you are surprised, it's like you are being dumbfounded. How does this happen? How can this? You don't understand. It's as if you are being dumbfounded. You're confused. You're perplexed instead of perplexity. Okay? That is what it is. Sometimes you are disillusioned. That's where some of the things that your emotions triggered. And when you are surprised, you are startled. Some of you say you are rattled. When you are surprised, you are startled, you are shocked, you are dismayed. This is the surprise mode. One of the things that your emotions does for you. Now, we're going to the third thing. And the third phase is your emotions triggered the mode of feeling very, very bad. Oh, I'm feeling very bad right now. I'm feeling very bad about myself right now. This is something your emotion has triggered because you did not allow your brain to process the information you received. So you tend to react. So you are feeling very, very bad. And when you feel very, very bad because of your triggered emotions, you feel tired. When you feel very, very bad, you feel what? You feel tired. And when you feel tired, you feel sleepy and unfocused. When you feel very bad about yourself, I really don't like myself right now. Oh, I really don't even like myself right now. You understand? What you're doing to yourself is that you become unfocused, you are tired and you feel sleepy. When you feel bad about yourself, you become stressed. That's it. You become very, very stressed. Very stressed. Okay, somebody is saying, I can share what I'm talking about. I can actually share with us right now. Sorry, just give me a minute. Let me see if I can bring it up on my screen. I downloaded that on my desktop earlier in the day. Let me see. Okay. Let me just bring it up. Just a minute. Let me see that. My desktop. So I can share this with you. Because you all have to see this. Okay? The feeling is what it is. All right. Okay, this is it. If you can see what I'm sharing now, can you just put 222 into the chat box? Can you see what I'm sharing right now? Put 222 into the chat box if you see what I'm sharing right now. Okay, put 222 into the chat box. Is it showing at all? Is it showing? Okay, it's showing. Awesome. All right. So we're talking about this level, the bad mode, a state where you feel bad about yourself. So you are stressed out and you are overwhelmed and out of control. You become overwhelmed and out of control. That's what it is. You become overwhelmed and out of control. You feel bad about yourself. Oh, you feel bad about yourself. So this is what you feel bad. So you become overwhelmed and out of control. The other one, you feel busy. You already feel bad about yourself. So your mind is preoccupied with what you're not supposed to be thinking about that, But because you already feel bad about yourself, you now feel busy, pressured, and what? And rushed. The another thing is that when you feel bad about yourself is that you are bored. You're bored. And when you're bored, you become indifferent and apathetic. Thank you for the response. I really appreciate the response. Thank you for the response. You become what? Indifferent and apathetic. You feel bad about yourself. Now, when you allow your emotions to take charge of you without processing your impulse and processing the information that hits you, all right, these are the possible reactions. These are the possible states that you are going to find yourself. Possible state you find yourself. And the fourth state you can find yourself is the fearful state. You can find yourself in the fearful state. And when you are fearful, you become scared. When you are fearful, you become very, very scared. And when you are scared, you are helpless and frightened. You are helpless and frightened. My favorite book said, the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. So when you allow emotions to take charge of your body, of your mind, of your soul, all right, you become fearful, scared, helpless, frightened. And when you become fearful, you become anxious. My favorite book said, be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. When you are anxious, you become overwhelmed and worried. You become what? Overwhelmed and worried. Then when you become fearful, or when you are fearful, in the fearful state, you become insecure. You are insecure. And when you are insecure, you have the feeling of inadequacy and the feeling that you are inferior. You have the feeling of inadequacy and the feeling that you are inferior. When you are fearful, you become very weak. The right time to attack any man is the state where he is in a state of fear. When you are in a state of fear, you can attack any man and you are going to win him hands down. You're going to conquer him. Because at that point, he's at his weakest strength. He is at his weakest strength. And when you are weak, you have the feeling of being worthless, the feeling of being insignificant. This is a terrible state to be in, ladies and gentlemen. And this is not a state that you should be in. You're in a state of being worthless and being insignificant. A fearful state brings about, you feel that feeling of rejection, being rejected, feeling of being excluded and being persecuted. That is the fearful state. When you do not control your emotion, when you do not process information, all right? Fearful state leads to feeling of being rejected, excluded, and persecuted. And finally, under the fearful state is that you feel threatened. You feel threatened. When you are fearful, you feel threatened. So you become nervous and you are exposed. Remember, I said the fearful state exposes you, and that brings about the weakest state of a man's life. You are weak. You are very, very weak when you are very fearful. That is state number 4. 7 different states and unprocessed emotions or feeling can lead to is what I'm dealing with right now. 7 different states. We've talked about the happy state. We talk about the surprise state. We've talked about the bad state, and we talk about the fearful state. The 5th one is the angry state. When you receive the information, you become angry. You know, there are some information that will hit you. Anger will just erupt from your body because you cannot just control the information. You become angry. Hey, when you become angry, you let down yourself. When you become angry, you become humiliated. You become bitter. You become mad. You become aggressive. Anger produces frustration. You become distant and critical. When you become angry, you feel betrayed. You feel resentful. Anger brought about disrespect. You feel ridicule. Anger brings about indignation. You feel violated. You become furious, jealous, provoked, hostile, infuriated. You become annoyed. When you are angry, you withdraw yourself. You become numb, skeptical, and dismissive. This is what anger births. This is what anger will birth. The sixth state is that your impulse will make you feel disgusted. Now you can say, oh, disgusted and feel bad. Are they similar? No, they're not similar. They're not similar. They're two different things. You feel disgusted, irritated, repaired. You feel awful, disappointed, and disapproving. And when you feel disapproving, you become judgmental, embarrassed. When you become disappointed, you become appalled, revolted. When you become awful, you could become detestable. You become horrified or hesitant. These are the 7 different states you can find yourself if you cannot control your emotions, if you cannot bring your emotion to subjection, if you cannot allow your brain to process the information when you receive the information. If you are with me this morning, please put 100 into the chat box. If you're with me and you're getting something from my information I'm sharing, put 100 into the chat box. I want to see if you're getting my message to you this morning. Put 100 into the chat box. If you can hear me and you are hearing me clearly, you're with me, you're getting the information I'm sharing. Let me see 100 in the chat box. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So this is the state you're going to find yourself. 7 different states you're going to find yourself. The possible state you can find yourself when you allow your emotions to control you and you're not controlling your emotions. All right? So, and when you allow your brain to process the information before reacting, that is what is called emotional intelligence. When you process the information before reacting to the information, that is what is called emotional intelligence. I'm going to put it in a simpler form and tell you that emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, all right, is your ability to control your emotions, all right, your ability to control your emotions. And Warren Buffett says something. He said, you cannot control your money if you cannot control your emotions. You cannot control your money if you cannot control your emotions. Statement of Warren Buffett. And my favorite book says something. It says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls. He that had no rule over his own emotion. So the spirit there, I replace it with what? Emotion. It's like a city that is broken down and without wall. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the quality of your financial decision is at the mercy of your emotions. The quality of your financial decisions is at the mercy of your emotions. And thank God, during GoPro, Warren Buffett, Eric Ward said something to us, every one of us. He says something I want to quote Eric Ward. He said, the money you are making in network marketing is not for show. It's not for show. That you are supposed to what? To invest. To invest. Don't eat everything you make. He made that statement. Don't eat everything you make. In the 12 lies in network marketing, the first day of GoPro, Eric Worre talked about 12 lies of network marketing. And one of the 12 lies is that you need to show success. Spend what you make. Spend what you make. And here we're talking about that the quality of your financial decisions is at the mercy of your emotions. So, ladies and gentlemen, is that I tell you that destinies are made or destroyed on the altar of decision making. Destinies are made or destroyed on the altar of decision making. And the truth is, nothing influences decision making like emotions. Nothing influences decision making like your emotions. I tell you, your decision to sign up to All With Us and get started in Omega Pro has gone through processing in your emotion. You have processed it. You've accepted it. I want to do this. I'm all in for this. Are we together? Nothing influences decision making like what? Like emotions. And I tell you, people, that emotional intelligence is the ability, your ability to understand and manage your own emotion, as well as recognize and influence the emotions of those around you. Those around you. Your ability to identify and manage your emotion and self in a bid to produce positive outcome in your life. That is what emotional intelligence is. Your ability to identify and manage your emotions and self in a bid to produce positive outcome in your life. So I tell you that right now, emotional intelligence is more valued than academic intelligence and professional intelligence. It is more valued than what? Than academic intelligence and what? Emotional intelligence. Are we together? So, I want you to let you know this, people, that your ability to control your feelings in financial matter, especially when making purchases, when making decisions, all right, really, really, really matters. When reacting to situation, when talking to other people, you must learn how to manage your emotions. If people want to employ you now, they're not going to employ you based on your doctorate or professorial degree. They will employ you based on your emotional intelligence, your emotional quotient. When you are pressured, will you cave in? When the pressure is much on you, how do you survive? Do you cave in? Do you run to your cocoon and hide yourself? That's what people are looking for. People who are resilient, people who are strong mentally, people who are strong internally, people who have the guts to withstand everything. And we're in a situation right now in Omega Pro where we've not been able to access one of our products back office, while we're accessing the other product back office, which is the POS platform. And I see a lot of people reactions from people. They say human patience have elasticity limit. But the reality is that we all understand that we are in a system, in a place where everything the company is doing is for our good and for our sake. To make sure that we are secure, to make sure that we are here for the long term, to make sure that nothing happens to our funds. So that security must be tight. So I see a lot of people saying, oh no, it's too long. I cannot wait anymore. Come on, control your emotions, manage it. Manage your emotions. I can understand that it's very hard time, but you must learn how to manage it. There are 4 components before we round up. 4 components of emotional intelligence that I'm going to quickly talk about. 4 components of emotional intelligence. Number 1 is self-awareness. Self-awareness, and is the core of everything. It not only defines your ability to understand your strength and weakness, that is your ability to understand your strength and weakness, but to also recognize your emotion and the effect they have on your entire team, on your entire organization. All right? So in order to bring out the best in others, you must bring out the best in yourself. So I'm a leader in my nuclear group, all right? BDT is our top leader. How will you lead people if you are in a state of fear and you call yourself a leader? How will you lead people if you are in a state of, in those 7 states I treated earlier? Do you understand? As a leader, you have to be excited. You have to be in the happy mode, happy state. You have to show up. Are we together? Thank you, Mr. Bolaji. Yes, yes. Emotional intelligence is more important than academic intelligence. Thank you, Mr. Bolaji, for that. All right? So you need to be aware, self-awareness. Understand your ability, your strength, your weakness. Know your strength, know your weakness, you as a person. And one of the things you can do to yourself is people will come with you with negative energy. Oh, it's already 11 and we have to round up. People will come with you with negative energy. All right. And when they come to you with negative energy, you need to counter that negative energy from people. I do not allow negative energy within my space, because I know if I allow negative energy into my space and I allow it to fester, it's going to bring me into a state of fear. I don't allow negative energy within my state. Listen, when you allow negative energy within your space, it will bring you into any of those 7 states. I mentioned earlier in that diagram I showed us, when you allow negative energy to fester, people talk to you with negativity. They bring this issue to you. They bring that issue to you. You're going to find yourself in one of those states. And when you understand your strength and your weakness, you guard your heart. That's why my favorite scripture says something. He said, guard your heart with all diligence. Guide it, guide it, guide it. Because why? You have the human gates. We have the hearing gate. You have the seeing gate. You have the, is it the smelling gate they call it now? All your gates are very, very important to you. All your gates are very, very important to you. All right. And when you allow people with negative mindset that have been bedeviled from the pit of hell to attack your soul and your mind, you're going to find yourself. Somebody say they can't hear me. Please, am I audible? Can you all hear me, please? Somebody say, I'm not hearing you, sir. Uchegu Meriro, say, I can't hear you, sir. If you can hear me, please, I want to see a reaction. If you can hear me, put 111 into the chat box. 111 into the chat box if you can hear me. Oh, I think they are not. Okay. All right. Okay. I can see that. I can see that now. Thank you. Thank you for the response. All right. So Mary Rose, check your connection. All right. So when you allow negativity, negative people come into your space. See, I give people space. Oh, I give people space. You can't come to me with negativity and allow you. Do you get what I'm saying? Give you space. I carry positive mindset. I don't allow that to fester around me, because I know if I allow it to fester around me, it can bring me to that any of those states. So I only allow positive energy around me. So when you are self-aware, the first component is that you must be aware of yourself, your strength and your weakness. In Yoruba language, they say, don't let somebody be telling you something that will make you feel sad, that will make you feel bad about yourself. Do not allow it within your circle. All right? Be aware of your weakness, be aware of your strength, and guide your heart, guide your mind. Are we together? All right? The second state is the state of self-management. Self-management. The self-management state is your ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations. Stressful situations, and maintain positive outlook. Your ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations, and maintain positive outlook despite setback. That is what we call self-management. What? Self-management. Self-management. Are you managing yourself? Something during one of our sessions that even some leaders will be calling him, Mr. Tommy, what was happening? Blah, blah, blah. Come on. You are a leader. Leadership is not by title. It's not by mouth. It's responsibility. And you must know how to manage the situation, even stressful situations. You must maintain positive outlook despite any setback. Maintain positive outlook despite setback. Leaders who lack this quality tend to react and have a harder time keeping their impulse in check. If you cannot self-manage yourself, you're going to have a hard time keeping your impulse in check. And if you cannot manage yourself, you're going to see that you are having high blood pressure for no reason. I tell you. You're going to just find yourself that your health is deteriorating for no reason. For something that you should not even bother about, you are just being stressful. You are just stressing yourself. Are we together? Self-management. The third point is that social awareness. Social awareness, you should know and recognize the emotions of other people around you. And this is a state of empathy. All right? You should know how to recognize others' emotions and the dynamic in play. As a leader, all right? Recognize the dynamic in play within your organization. Learn to practice empathy. And our leader here, Black Diamond Tomiwa, he showed some great empathy last week, Friday. People who were on the call last week, Friday, were surprised. And he just announced a giveaway. That is leadership showing empathy, because he recognized the state, the current situation that we're in, that people need something. And from out of his own pocket, he blessed, I guess, I don't know our numbers, maybe about 70 people. And he gave everybody 10,000 naira. You see, that is leadership showing empathy. He's aware. That is what we call social awareness. Being aware of the emotions of the people around you. While we guard against negative energy, we also tend to recognize the emotions of our people. All right? Social awareness. Show empathy within your organization. All right, practice it. Try to understand the feelings and perspective of other people. The feelings and perspective of other people. Try to understand it. We understand the feelings. We understand your perspective. We understand the angle you're coming from. We know you are MD director of a company. We know you want to tell Omega Pro how to run the company. We know you want to share your own idea, how they should be communicating. We know you are a director from where you're coming from. We know all that. But in a situation when things are out of your control, leave it up. Manage what you can control. Are we together? And the final point is relationship management. Relationship management. It is your ability to influence, coach, mentor others, and resolve conflict effectively. Relationship management. Your ability to influence, coach, and mentor others and resolve conflict effectively. That's what your relationship management is all about. And when we are in this particular challenging time, and during this Yuletide season, I want to tell you that people will come up with you with diverse, different kind of emotions. People will come to you with different kind of requests. Remember my words to you today, that you have to put your emotions to check. One of the teaching of Boss Lee on GoPro, I say my name as Boss Lee. I don't know, maybe you guys got it. He said, she said, you need to master your emotion. Those who master their emotion become more successful than those who don't master their emotions. Those who master their emotion occupy leadership position than those who don't know how to master their emotions. When you master your emotions, decision making will become easy for you. When you master your emotion, you'll be able to act upon information in a positive way. Remember, there are two types of action you can take when you receive an information: positive momentum and negative information. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my message to you today, all right? That as we go on this journey with Omega Pro, all right, make sure that you guide your heart. Word creation process is a journey, ladies and gentlemen. It's a journey. It's not a 100-meter race, it's a marathon. It's not a 100-meter race, it's a marathon. And when it comes to word creation, it's a process. And the process sometimes can be long. Sometimes can be short-term, mid-term, long-term. Let me put it that way. Word creation process can be short-term, mid-term, and long-term. You must understand this. And we are on this journey together. And I can tell you with all authority that this season will pass. And we'll see yourself at the mountaintop, rejoicing, happy, confident. And I can tell you that by this time that we're seeing again, all right, you'll be talking about, oh, the next thing I want to achieve is how I can achieve my next rank in Omega Pro. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I really appreciate you for joining us on this morning Wake Up and Win. I believe that you got something from my message to you. All right. And I'm going to call my leader, who have given me the platform to share with us today, my Black Diamond. Thank you so much for the responses. I really appreciate that. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Really, really appreciate your time joining us today. Do not forget